Okay, I had a few issues with the camera, so I'm gonna have to like remake this one again. So forgive me if I might sound a little disjointed, because previously I had my thoughts all in in a row. You get that's the way it is with YouTube. You get your thoughts in a row, then you turn on the camera and it can all come out perfectly. Now, of course, I've had a break between then and now because I realized there were problems with the camera batteries, with the file that was being created, with space on the camera. Basically, the number of problems that was going up and up and up and up. Hey, I'll bore you with my crap another time. Hopefully, I can fit this one particular movie in before the phone rings, because obviously, yep, I'm still working. Okay. Right, now, I had this interchange with this individual on YouTube, just like explained a few things from where I'm coming from. They explained a few things about where they're coming from, and so on and so forth. Let me just see if I can pull that one particular message up, if I can just get there just a second. Okay, inbox. Right. As is traditional, I'm keeping the individual's name and channel name completely under wraps because there's no point in going into that. It says, "Thank you so much. I'll check out your videos about the Ouija board." Yes, do so. Use the search facility on my channel, okay? And watch all my videos on Ouija boards. It's good. Indeed, I have to be careful with it, as I've not had experience with this, and if I encountered a demon, it may be a problem for me, as I'm not sure how I deal with them. I may be wrong about demons, but I'm a total novice, so I will watch your videos and learn more, and have no intention of contacting one, but you never know, ... Okay, we don't know whether any form of spiritual being actually exists. Okay, they may be written about in books of religion and superstition and fiction and all sorts, but that's written by people, and people with beliefs or with ideas, but with no facts. I mean, if a person, let's say, approaches an experience from a point of view, they're more likely to interpret the experience as being something which corroborates their views about that point of view and about the experience connected to that point of view, if you get my drift. Let's say a person believes in ghosts. Okay, believe passionately and totally in ghosts. And hey presto, their satellite TV box starts changing the channels spontaneously. They may interpret the fact that the channels on the satellite box are being changed because of the spirit or the haunting, or they may believe it may be their dead great-grandfather trying to communicate a message of love, or something. The fact of the matter is, it could easily be some damp getting into the cabling, which is affecting the signal and stopping the whole thing from working the way it should. Alright, that's a strong possibility as well. So we mustn't rule out the physical. Okay? With something like the Ouija board seance, because there's been so many scary stories and scary movies, and people who were already flamed out in one form or another, just having more scary experiences, or people who've got too much in the way of superstition, who get out there on the internet and talk, there's an awful lot more paranoia about it. But let's be honest, it's a board with some letters on it. Alright, a board with some letters on it. There's always something around which has got letters on it. It doesn't mean to say it's possessed because it's got letters on it. Alright, it's just a board with some letters on it. Alright, and as far as the action of using it, science has demonstrated over 150 or whatever it is years worth of scientific research that the ideomotor effect is most likely being the cause of what happens during a Ouija board seance. Of course, what isn't known is lots of other dimensions about the entire experience, such as where do the idios come from. Someone who doesn't believe in spirits would say it comes purely from the mind of the practitioner, the person who's doing the seance. Someone who does believe in spirits will say it comes from outside. Now, you can believe whatever you want to believe, but essentially, in both cases, those are points of view, belief. Alright, I mean, a neurologist may, do a brain scan of someone in the future and find that there is certain brainwave activities which go along with psychological activity which is connected to the ideomotor effects, and then may say, hey, presto, that's conclusive proof. No, it isn't. Because what you've proven is the function of the ideomotor effects. You haven't proven what force has influenced the individual. Okay? There's too much which is unknown. I mean, essentially, many years ago, a few years ago, I had the great pleasure of attending a commercial ghost hunt, a proper commercial ghost hunt, and I was the one who was in charge of taking this massive group of people around the room where we were doing the Ouija board seance. It was totally cool. I loved it, okay? All these people there, you know, a little drunk on like gin and tonic or whatever the fuck it was, okay? And they all wanted to see something strange and peculiar, so we got together. We did the Ouija board seance, whopping great table, laid out all the letters of the alphabet, turn the glass upside down and all that kind of stuff. Candles everywhere, spooky, you know, proper spooky, look great. And this one lady said before we started, make sure you clean the board and make sure you close it down properly afterwards. Do it properly. So I said, okay, thinking to myself, is she really okay? You know what I mean? But you know, I pandered to her basically, and I fulfilled the obligation through doing something which I didn't believe would have an effect, but it looked good. And then after we'd done the seance and everyone had got round and like tried to work out what message was being spelt out and what it really meant, and they built up together a belief as to what it could be. I then spoke to the same lady, you know, when we were sort of like going down the bar afterwards, and said like, you said these weird things to me. You asked me to clean it and to close it down properly. Precisely what did you mean by that? And considering that the first time she spoke to me, her demeanor was very strong, very assertive, very full of knowledge, very full of, you must do it properly, you know, that kind of thing. The second time she spoke to me, she was a little different. She was a little more quiet, reserved, in a position of lack of knowledge rather than in a position of knowledge. And she just said, actually, I don't know. I'm just afraid, that's all. You see, a lot of the mythologies surrounding this ideomotor device has been spread by people who are afraid. And afraid of things they don't understand. It's not necessarily that there really are demons that are going to attack you. We can't we can't be honest and say, yes, demons really exist. We can't be honest and say ghosts really exist, or God really exists, or the devil really exists, or that any supernatural being objectively exists. All we've got is a handful of strange experiences connected to auras or hauntings or meditations or dream telepathy and all that kind of stuff, okay? And we got some folk myths and we got some religions and we got all this kind of stuff all thrown into the mix. And that's what makes the whole debate about ghosts and spectres and demons and all the rest of it really rather complex, because it's all like full of belief, okay? Full of people not knowing stuff. Full of people being afraid. And on top of that, being afraid of being wrong. And sometimes being afraid of being right and being very, very confused, which has made people think, oh my god, what happens if there are demons, they are real, and I am going to be possessed if I get my fucking Ouija board out? We don't know. I mean, I've had people coming up to me and saying, yes, I know that demons exist because I had this really, really strange experience that seemed to prove it. And I turned around and said, no, you've had a really, really strange experience which has proven to you you can have a really, really weird, strange experience. That's as far as it goes. For you to say anything else, that demonstrates where you're coming from and your beliefs. Okay? Your beliefs and the way that you think about a particular phenomena because of what you read and what you heard and what you've seen. Now, the experiences are real. The ones I've had, they fucking happened to me. Okay? Full stop. Finito. The end. End of arguments. Not listening to anyone who will say anything else. Okay? I had those experiences. I'm curious about them, I therefore want to have more of them, so no one's going to stop me from doing a Ouija board seance, doing meditation, and all kinds of other weird and wonderful fun things. Because I'm a weird and wonderful fun person, okay? So, everybody, it's coming up to Halloween, you're going to see weird people doing weird things, you're going to be hearing weird stories. Don't be afraid. Because essentially all you're doing is you're hearing their interpretation of what they think is happening based upon something, which could be a story, a mythology, a religion, a belief, or whatever. You know, there's so much we just don't fucking know. One day we might, but probably not in my lifetime. And unless we start changing this, the thinking about these things, possibly not in your lifetime either, or your children's lifetime. But if the right attitude, as I am trying to promote here on this channel, is actually given to people, the likelihood of something really, really good happening and people starting to think, okay, so these are just a handful of strange experiences, not these are proof positive of demons and devils and Satan and Beelzebub and all that kind of fucking horseshit. I mean, remember to breathe and don't go crazy, okay? Don't take it too seriously. Doing a Ouija board seance will only prove you can do a Ouija board seance. It won't prove to say that there, or it won't prove that there are spirits or angels or demons or ghosts or poltergeists or flying spaghetti monsters or invisible pink unicorns or, you know, the Mothman or, you know, fuck, Mothman, bloody the Mothman, yes. Named after one of the least scary creatures on the face of the planet, the moth. If it was the lion man, yes, that would be yes, the big scary thing with horns man, yes, the Minotaur man, yes, that would be spooky, yes. Moth, little candle, there I go, ooh, bam, oh, fuck off. Relax, chillax, okay. Remember, all we can do is collect some strange experiences and ask questions, and we can't provide answers. So when someone does turn around and provide an answer, ask more questions. Just ask more questions.